Hey everybody, this is Megan White again, and this week I'm going to go over how to create scatter plots. Um, so for starters, I'm using the same set of data, higher education retention rates. I'm going to be looking at academic difficulties and transfer issues, and on my other worksheet, you see I've got academic difficulty and financial issues. So all I've done is I've moved everything over for just these two sets of data from our big set of data. Um, I have labeled here. Column B is going to be your independent variable, and then column C is dependent, and our y-axis and our x-axis versus dependent and independent variable. So for starters, the first thing to do is make sure you have your sets of data that you're going to use, and you're going to highlight everything in it, highlight all of your numbers. And once you've done that, you go to Insert, go to your charts. The first one is your scatter plot. So we're going to select that one. Move it over so I can see. So you notice we don't have any axis title, so that's the first thing I do so I can know what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna click the plus sign and click titles, and I'm gonna change this one, your top one, transfer versus academic. And then, so we need to change this as well. So your Y axis is going to be the dependent variable transfers. And then your x-axis is going to be the other one, academic. Okay, so you see you have a top label labeling the actual scatter plot, then you have your labels for your axis. The next thing that you're going to look at, or that we want to look at, we can see that the points are scattered. So there's not a whole lot of correlation going on, but we want to, we're going to do our Pearson correlation coefficient. So for that formula, hit your formula button, type coral. You've got that there, open your parentheses. Okay, let's select all my data for my independent variable, go all the way down. Got that, I'm gonna hit a comma, and then I'm gonna select my next set, and then close parentheses, and go back up here. This is our Pearson correlation coefficient. So it's telling us that there's a negative correlation. So like I said, there's not like any correlation between these two sets of data, nothing between transfer and academic difficulties. Another thing we're going to look at, if I click on my little dots of data, I want to right click one and add a trend line. You see our trend line. Our trend line is very, very slight downward. So there's really not a whole lot of correlation between any of it. Go back to this. Go back to my trend line real quick, and you see, if you scroll down, you can also add your equation and your R squared value. I'm going to do that. You click on it, you kind of move it over so you can actually see it or read it. So our R squared value is basically 1.9% is what is affecting it. So there's no correlation. There's no way to determine, okay, transfer students are having academic difficulties, and that's why they're transferring to other institutions. So that's how we use this scatter plot and read this scatter plot. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna move over to our financial and academic difficulty reasons. So I'm gonna do the highlighting of all my data. Go up to my insert my chart again. Okay, add your titles. You click the plus sign, your checkbox, change this. Here you've got your Y and X again. So we have our titles. So again, we can see the same, move back over, same as here. They're scattered throughout. There's no visual, immediate, significant trend that we can see or correlation. Clicking on, let's do our Pearson coefficient. Equal sign, type it in, 1L. Open parentheses, select your data again, comma, and select your next step. Close parentheses. Same thing. We have a negative Pearson coefficient correlation again. And then we're going to right click on one of our data points to add our trend line. Same thing. It's even less significant of a slight downward trend in this one as well. Barely can see that it moves down. And we're going to add our equation and our R squared value again, move it so you can actually see it. Maybe if I can actually get on it. Okay. So this is where we're at. So there's zero correlation really. I mean, we could say that there could be some instances where students may have financial issues and academic difficulty issues, but there's nothing from these scatter plots that tell us one is dependent upon the other. So that's how you use a scatter plot, read a scatter plot, and how you actually form a scatter plot. And that is all I've got. Thank you.